Hello everyone, welcome back to Cine Culture. I hope you're all doing well. So, Percy Jackson and the Olympians just aired its first season, and this was one of the shows I was looking forward to because I've read the first five Percy Jackson books and I liked them a lot. So, I was looking forward to the show. It kind of lived up to my expectations, let me down a couple of times. So, it's pretty mixed on the show as a whole. But I will tell you my positives and my negatives separately. First, coming to the positives, the casting in the show was great, especially the actor who played Percy. I think his name is Walter Scobell, Walker Scobell or something. He did a great job in the role. I know there is a lot of talk about too much diversity and the character of Annabelle being portrayed as blonde in the novel and she's portrayed by an African American actress, blah blah blah. She did a really good job. The actress, she did a really good job with the character. I feel the way the actress portrayed the character added a lot of nuance to her, and it will be interesting to explore her further in the next season. I would also like to point out the actor who played Ares did a really good job. He had that menace that a god like Ares needs to have. Around the table, the casting was more or less great. The actors did a really good job. The world building was also really well done. Compared to the Percy Jackson films, the world felt more lived in over here. You got to explore more of Camp Half Blood. You got to explore more of the gods, the mythical side of things. There were more monsters thrown in here: Minotaurs, Chimeras, Medusa, Cerberus. There is a lot of world building done here, and I really enjoyed that, especially the episode where we go to the underworld. The visuals, the way the underworld is designed, the portrayed, I loved that. To that point, I would also like to say that a couple of things were changed up in the show compared to the novel, and I feel at times the changes helped progress the story much better. There were a few times where I would have loved to see things that played out in the novel play out the same way in the show. But for the most part, I loved the changes that they did. I also feel that the show got better as it went along. The first two episodes, I was little iffy on whether the show would live up to what I was expecting it to. And then I thought after episode 5, it started getting better. Now, coming to the negatives, there were a lot of pacing issues. Some episodes were slow, while others were fast paced with a lot of things happening one after the other. Episode 4 in particular, I feel, was very slow. I think it adapted only one chapter of the book in that one episode. They spent one episode on just one chapter from the book. They could have explored so much more. That brings me to my second negative point, that there needed to be more episodes to flesh out more of the characters, to make the story more organic. It felt very rushed at times, and not all the characters were well developed. Grover, in particular, I felt was very underdeveloped by the end of the season. And I will say that the show was kind of childish at times. Like, there's a scene in the second episode where Percy is doing the floss, and it felt a little awkward. So there was a huge childish vibe to the entire thing up until we got to the episode with the underworld. That's where the darker tone kicked in, but that was in episode 7. So a lot of the scenes, a lot of the show felt childish at times, and some of the visuals felt off. In episode 8, when Zeus and Poseidon are having the conversation, if you look at the background, it's clear that they're standing in front of a green screen. And that kind of pulled me out of the scene. So, if I had to give my overall thoughts, the season had its flaws, but overall, I feel they did a good job of adapting the story, making subtle changes here and there. And I am really excited to see what they do with the second season. So, overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10. And I hope they work on some of the flaws that they had this season, and the second season has more character development and more and better pacing to flesh out the story. So yeah, those were my thoughts. Do tell me down in the comments what you thought of the series if you have watched it so far. And if you like the video, do like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos like this.